Imagine a group of young men, lured by promises of glory or money, becoming pawns in a dangerous international game. This chilling scenario played out in London, where a gang orchestrated an arson attack on a warehouse supplying aid to Ukraine, all at the behest of the notorious Wagner Group, a Russian mercenary organization. But here's where it gets even more disturbing: these weren't hardened criminals, but individuals manipulated into acts of terrorism on British soil. The attack, which caused approximately £1 million in damage, was just the tip of the iceberg. Dylan Earl, 21, admitted to planning the arson on industrial units in Leighton, East London, while under the direction of the Wagner Group, designated a terrorist organisation in the UK. Earl, along with Jake Reeves, 24, and 4 others, were sentenced at the Old Bailey for espionage, terrorism offences, and arson. Earl received a staggering 23-year sentence, with 17 years in prison and 6 on extended licence, while Reeves was sentenced to 12 years plus a year on licence. And this is the part most people miss: the warehouse wasn't just any building, it was a lifeline, storing humanitarian aid and Starlink satellite equipment destined for Ukraine. The gang's actions weren't random, they were part of a calculated campaign to undermine support for Ukraine and further Russia's interests. Earl and Reeves targeted the site precisely because of its role in aiding Ukraine, recruiting others like Nii Kojo Mensah, Jakim Rose, and Ugnias Azminer to carry out the attack. It took 60 firefighters to control the blaze, highlighting the severity of their actions. But the plot thickens. The gang had planned further attacks, including targeting a restaurant and wine shop in Mayfair, central London, and even plotting to kidnap Yevgeny Chichvarkin, a wealthy Russian dissident. Mrs. Justice Chima, in her sentencing remarks, called this a planned campaign of terrorism and sabotage orchestrated by the Russian state. She emphasized that this wasn't an isolated incident, pointing to a similar attack on a warehouse in Spain and discussions of another in the Czech Republic. Here's where it gets controversial. While the judge concluded the attack had a terrorist connection, defense lawyers painted a different picture. Paul Hines KC argued that Earl was easy meat for the sophisticated operatives of the Wagner Group, a vulnerable young man seeking praise and significance through online gaming. Similarly, Henry Blaxland KC claimed Reeves' judgment was clouded by excessive ketamine use and his immersion in the digital world, making him susceptible to manipulation by Russian agents. For others, Mensah, Rose, Azmina, and Ashton Evans, were also jailed for their roles, with sentences ranging from 8 years to 10 years and 10 months. Earl and Reeves became the first to be convicted under the National Security Act 2023, marking a significant legal milestone. Commander Dominic Murphy of Counter-Terrorism Policing London called the case a clear example of Russia using British citizens as proxies for criminal activities. Sir Keir Starmer, in his remarks at the Coalition of the Willing meeting, underscored the gravity of the situation, stating, "Your security is our security." But here's the question that lingers: how vulnerable are young people in our digital age to manipulation by foreign powers? And what more can we do to protect them from becoming tools of state-sponsored terrorism? This case isn't just about arson, it's a stark reminder of the complex, often invisible threats we face in an interconnected world. What's your take? Do you think the sentences were fair, or should more have been done to address the root causes of such manipulation? Let's discuss in the comments.